is a word I never knew until now. Somewhere is a place I long to be, but this is just another hole in my head, another romance.
All the levels okay? You already checked them all?
Should be.
Check.
Cool. That's all recording?
Check. Yep, we're recording.
All right. Hey, we're back. Levi, we're back in Corner Pocket this time. We filmed the last one in a car.
Yeah, we did
So
it
it's
once.
good to be back.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
But we've been looking forward to this one for a minute. We got, I'll let you introduce yourself. How about that?
Hello, I'm Brian Bates.
He's
I'm a
like-
comedian from Nashville.
His name's Greg, but
Yeah.
It's Craig Warren. Brian Bates. You may have seen him at the Grand Ole Opry, which is great, by the way. I want to get more into that in a second.
All right.
And then the Nateland Podcast, one of the weekly members, the reoccurring members. I don't know how you phrase that one.
Just one of the hosts.
One of the hosts.
Yep.
Like I said before we started, I think Brian's the one that keeps the podcast rooted. He's always like, all right, now hold on, let's go. Like it's so much more structured than like any of the podcasts that I've been a part of. There's like segments and like you guys have it down. Like you can tell when you start. You're like, I know what's coming next.
Yeah, we put some work into it for sure.
Yeah, and it shows. It's clean.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got to make Levi's. Anytime I mention clean comedy, Levi's like, I don't know.
well, just the one time he ever booked me on a clean show,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool, I'm in. And I didn't get 12 seconds in before I said the F word. And I was like, all right, I forgot. I already forgot. I'm not
Oh,
good
boy.
at this. Yeah. So it's like, I can get laughs, but not if I can't do that. This is not me. I don't know.
But we said this episode's gonna be Nashville. So
Yep.
me and Levi have done a few shows. Are you from Nashville, like originally?
Yeah, I mean, just outside of Nashville. But
Okay.
for all intents and purposes, I've lived in Nashville my whole life.
Okay. So what's the best part? Like, what keeps you in Nashville?
Nashville has changed a lot, really, in just like the last 10 years or so. It's just blown up, and I mean, I think it's mostly for the best. Some people are like, oh, it's too busy, too many people move in here, too much traffic, and I do agree with that. But I mean, it's when I grew up, there was no professional sports teams. We had a minor league baseball team, but that was it. Now we've got a major league. We've got the Titans. We've got the NHL hockey team. We've got a professional soccer team.
The fact that the Predator Stadium is on Broadway and at the other end of Broadway is the Titan Stadium makes that city very cool to me.
Yeah.
So here we have the Chiefs because the Rams left. So we just have the Chiefs, and the Chiefs Stadium is like 15, 20 minutes from downtown.
Yeah,
it's like in another city.
Yeah, it's like right outside of
So like Nashville if you're in the heart of Nashville, you're in the heart of Nashville.
Yeah, it seems like that's what cities, they've gotten smart. That's what they do now. Like in Cincinnati, the football stadium and the baseball stadium are right downtown, right beside each other. Now, I believe in Kansas City, isn't the Royal Stadium right beside the Chiefs Stadium?
It is, yes.
It's close, yeah.
Yeah, both of them, like, they're almost in another town.
Yeah. So I've lived in Nashville my whole life. It's blown up in the last few years. Just so many people moving there. And it's such a cool city. But, for comedy, I think that's a good thing. It's not just thought of as a music city anymore. It is that, but it's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
A lot of creative types have moved there, of all different fields, comedy included. Just since COVID, a lot of people left L.A., so Theo Von moved there.
Yeah.
Angela Johnson, Josh Wolf. Josh has now moved to Las Vegas, but he was there. I'm forgetting some people. And then, of course, Nate Bargatze lives there. Dusty Slay. Steve Byrne moved there. Yep. I'm forgetting some people, but John Chris lives there.
Yep.
Just a ton of good comics live in Nashville.
Well, and I think that I feel like when you think Nashville comedy, I think your crew, your guys, those names you just listed are what comes to mind. I mean, Nate's face, Dusty's face is literally on the club. Which, by the way, when are you getting your face on Zany's?
I don't know. That's a good question. They put my picture up on the wall, and I was so honored. And then they're like, let's make you feel bad again. We're going to paint people's murals on the wall just to show you're still a step below.
But you got it in, right? With Aaron's wife, right? She's the manager, right?
Yeah.
You got it in. You just got to...
Well, Aaron's mural's not even on the wall.
I say Aaron might get it first. That's true. I
Yeah.
didn't think about that. Yeah. So, but you got it. We'll just paint you over somebody.
Angela Johnson's there?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
I didn't even know. Yeah, it's like she's a murderer. She's been doing this.
Yeah, I don't know when this episode comes out, but I'm about to go on the road and do some shows with her.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
This will come out probably next Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay, well next week I'm in. It's all Tennessee shows. I'm doing Chattanooga and Knoxville with her, and then the following week Memphis, and then she's recording her special at the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville.
Awesome.
On October 1st, and I'm opening for her on that.
Another thing on Broadway Street. That's what I'm saying. That's a
Yep.
heck of a quarter mile, dude.
Yep. Kathleen Madigan lives in Nashville. She's recording a special there.
Heck yeah.
So, yeah, Nashville's a super cool city. And
So I do have a question about your set. You mentioned you have a friend and you like the nickname bit and you say Jelly Roll. Mm-hmm. Is that the Jelly Roll?
no, that's so funny.
Because he lives in Nashville too.
He does live in Nashville. And I didn't even know who that was until maybe a year ago. But no, that's just a coincidence. I do have a friend whose nickname was Jelly Roll, but but not that Jelly Roll.
Okay, that's funny. When you said that, I was like, I don't think Brian's hanging out with Jelly Roll.
No.
I was like, I've seen Jelly Roll. He does not look like the kind of guy that fits.
That might be more your
Brian's
speed,
crew.
right?
Yeah. I look like.
Looks like somebody I would hang out with.
Yeah, about to say
Yeah.
you don't know Levi that well, but that actually,
That's
that's
your-
Levi.
I'm behaving myself.
All right. Well, you got a Grateful Dead shirt here. I don't know.
I'm hanging out.
Okay.
I'm
all
pretty
right.
chill. I'm not like bad wild. I'm like
All right.
fun wild.
All right.
So I said it earlier. Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
So we're not. I'm not. I know you're probably not familiar with it. I'm not super familiar
Dude, I'm
with
super.
with the Grand Ole Opry.
Conway Twitty. You talking about?
Okay,
yeah,
but like
I know
what-
the classics, son?
So I know like it's like it's a big deal to be like inducted into it, right? As a country
Oh,
music
yeah.
star.
Absolutely.
So comedy's new to it, right? That's a fairly new aspect of it.
As far as regular comedians, yeah.
Okay. And so, like, what all? I guess I don't know how to put it. Like Grand Ole Opry, what is that? Like, how do they function? Is it like a weekly show and there's just famous people in and out, kind of like Comedy Store is, where there's like you just never know who you're gonna see?
Yeah, it's it's similar to that. It's almost a daily show. I mean,
Oh wow.
They used to just be a weekend show, but now they do almost every day of the week. And the lineup is posted. I guess it is like the Comedy Store. You can see who's going to be there, but there's always very often some additions that come in or pop in last minute. And it's the vast majority are singers, but now they've got where they put comedians on a lot of the shows.
That's cool.
Used to just be like Minnie Pearl or somebody like that, but now like Henry Cho, another comedian who lives in Nashville.
Oh yeah, there we go.
He's done over 100 Grand Ole Opry's, he said. I think Dusty's done like 20. Aaron's done like 15.
Yeah, I remember when I first started seeing Dusty do them, and I was like, oh yeah, because I know how much he loves country music, and I was like, this fits perfectly. Then I
It
started
is a
seeing-
perfect fit.
Yeah. I remember like him talk. Like the first time I met him, I was like, oh, this is not a character. This is Dusty Slay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So about a year ago, I did my first Grand Ole Opry, and it was so amazing because
Country music fan?
I am. I'm not like a diehard country music fan, but I grew up in Nashville my whole life, so obviously
Fair enough,
you'd
fair
realize how big of a deal it is performing the Grand Ole Opry, and it's about 4,000 people, and
Wow.
yeah,
Holy moly.
you think about all the incredible stars that have performed in that circle, not just country music, but they've had everyone. They've had Elvis, they've had, you name it, they've had them. So it was quite an honor to perform on that stage. My first time was about a year ago, and it was incredible night, and one of the highlights of my comedy career for sure.
Wow.
For sure.
So how did you? What led to you getting on with the Nateland show? Like, what was the progression of that?
Well, Nate and I have been friends for years, and so when he decided during the pandemic to start a podcast, he asked me to come on board and kind of be a producer, and that is what I am on the show. But obviously, I'm more than that. The original plan was for me not to really talk, just like on a lot of shows where. Radio shows where there's a producer in another booth,
Right,
and they occasionally chime in. That was kind of going to be me, just to look something up, chime in when there's a question, things like that. Not really say that much. And then he was looking for another host, and we were like a sidekick kind of thing, and we were battering names around. And then he finally decided to go with Aaron. And then as once the podcast started, things they tend not to go the way you originally think they're going to go.
Right.
So now we all talk, and we all talk a lot.
Right. No, I did it. Yeah. And so.
And then about 100 episodes in, we added Dusty Slay as a fourth member of the group, and now I think we're at episode 115.
Well, and you had some great guests before Dusty. I mean, Dusty had been a guest. Greg Warren, Justin Smith, this was Greg Garcia. So there was some great fourth chairs.
Mark Norman.
I forgot about Mark Norman. Yeah, you guys had to make him be clean. I remember that.
Yeah. We've had a lot of Nate's buddies from New York when he came up through New York on the show, and Giannis Pappas and a lot of guys that tour with Nate. I'm forgetting some names now myself, but we've had a lot. We've had some athletes. We had Jay Cutler on, football player. We had Sonny Gray, professional baseball player. So we've had a variety of guests.
I remember one of my favorite moments was when they called you Brian Bates, the official, like, buy one, get one comedian or something like that, because people would come. Did you do a show where you had a bunch of people come by themselves or something like that?
Well, it was just kind of a running joke. That was the John Christ episode. And, Nate made some joke about how people come alone. And then we called me the top BOGO comic, buy one, get one. And I don't even know how that started, but it was just a running joke that,
Yeah. So, and then I know you.
We had a guy tonight that was by himself, sitting up front.
Right here. Yeah. I remember. Yeah. That's always strange to me.
My brand, sticks with it.
What was that? Papa COVID? Was that what you called him?
I called him Papa COVID because he said he was by himself because of COVID, and I was like, what a weird.
I'm like, is it because you have it? Or
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
I'm guessing everyone else did.
I think so. Yeah, I asked him afterwards. He said people who were supposed to come with had COVID.
Oh, that makes
more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know you work with a lot with Leanne Morgan too.
Yep.
On like a theater run, right? She's
Yep.
in a theater, so. And I didn't know a lot about her, honestly. I know Levi and I were looking her up, and I was like, okay. I don't know who I was mixing her up with, but I had the wrong name in my head.
Yeah, she's another one that she told for years, just doing great, but not really having any fan base. And then she kind of blew up a couple years ago. One of her videos just kind of blew up, and then people just started noticing her other stuff. And now she does these sold-out theater shows, and they're really great. So I'm honored to get to open for her a lot on the road.
That's cool. Yeah,
I've really been lucky. I got to open for Nate a lot on the road and do this podcast, and now I open for Leanne. So, yeah, I've been fortunate to work with some good people.
Well, it seems like the podcast is you've had an uptick of people coming out because of it. Like, I mean, the people in the front row tonight were wearing, Nateland shirts.
Yeah.
So it seems like that's been a great boost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everywhere I go, it's kind of crazy, the fans that are, for this podcast. And I guess there's just, from what people tell, there's not a lot of clean podcasts that are also mainstream comics. You know what I mean?
That's
right.
There's
Hey, welcome to our podcast. Yeah.
There's Christian comics and there's different things, but Nate being so mainstream, and for it to be a clean podcast that people can listen to with their kids, it's rare.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, being like, because I grew up in the church, like you said you did.
Mm-hmm.
I remember on one episode of the podcast, you said something like, "Yeah, me and Dusty have great Bible talks," and I'm like, "Go into that. Nobody else wants to hear. I want to hear what that means."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
you guys need to start your own Bible Talk podcast.
Well, I hope to get back into that. And Dusty on his personal podcast, I don't know if you listen to that or not. But
I have.
He definitely does some Bible talk.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard a ton, but it's still we're having a good time, right? With Dusty Slay.
Yeah. Now he's got a whole segment on Bible talk. So.
Oh wow, I did not catch that.
Yeah, but we'll get back into it on our podcast. For sure.
I'm slipping, yeah.
You should have known that.
I'm collecting. I've got a Dusty shirt, now I've got my Brian shirt. I know you guys said you can go on eBay and buy a Nate Bargatze shirt or something. You guys were looking up his merch the other day, and I'm like, all right, cool, I can get that.
Yep.
But I'm not going to get it from his website. I'm going on eBay.
Buy it from somebody else. That's cool.
Yeah.
You should be happy somebody else wants to sell his stuff. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to sell my T-shirts.
There's a lot. But so
it was a lot.
You've been have you been to all 50 states yet?
No.
It's got to be a lot, right?
I guess I need to look that up. I mean, there's a lot I haven't been to. You guys, I don't know. How many of y'all been to?
Oh, I did it on the map. It's less than 20.
Yeah, I was gonna say less than.
Unfortunately.
Okay,
yeah.
I've done more than that, I think, but I bet I haven't done 30. I don't know.
I think we were at 16. I think you said.
I maybe done half.
We've done up all the way and down all the way, and then we've been across a good bit. We haven't made it a whole lot of west because when we really started touring, the world went, "Oh, we don't let things happen out west."
Yeah.
Like Denver, LA. That's not
not
on the table. Yeah.
I don't want to drive for 2 days to do nothing. So.
I may have done 30. I don't know. I haven't looked, but I haven't been to the Dakotas.
Oh, okay. We did South Dakota. That was weird.
We did do South Dakota. It was cold.
It was our first date on that tour. It was like 70 at home and 30 there.
The lights just turned off in the middle of the show. That was fun. Cool. The mic still worked though. That was even weirder.
What I was getting at, what's one of your favorite clubs or some of your favorite clubs that you've been to?
Let me think about that. Well, You know, I mean, gosh, I hate to say this because it makes me, but I just talked about how lucky I am. I've done so many theaters. I get to do so many theaters with Nate and Leanne that I've even bypassed some of the clubs. But as far as comedy towns, Denver was great.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to do Comedy Works, but everyone talks about how great it is. Minneapolis was great. Those are fun comedy towns. I mean, I'm drawing a blank on some of my favorite clubs. I really enjoyed, I'm not saying this because I'm going there because this will already be out by the time I talk about it, but Helium in St. Louis, which I'm going to this weekend, I remember that being a really fun club.
It's Levi's favorite. I'm pretty sure that's the one you said was your favorite.
That was like the one room that I've walked into and I saw like the painting on the background and it hit me like, oh, I've watched a lot of my favorites do clips here and like, oh, I'm here now. And it's something about being in that room was like, I like this. This felt weird. I don't know, it was cool.
Yeah, I had some really good shows there whenever I was there before.
Yeah.
But Zany's in Nashville, to get it back to Nashville, Zany's in Nashville I think is one of the best clubs in the country.
So you guys, a big thing, there's a new material month. Yeah.
What'd you say?
They won't let me in.
Oh, yeah, I made sure of that.
Good. You're doing your job.
The new material Mondays, right?
Yeah.
That's a big deal there. I remember during COVID, it was like Nate Bargatze, John Christ, all the guys that were home from tour.
Right.
And I was like, holy moly, I wish I was always wanted to make it down there for that.
It was super cool during COVID when people really couldn't get on stage, so they were going to work out stuff there. And
Yeah.
it really was like, that's when Josh Wolf moved there and Theo Vaughn and Angela. So you just never knew who's going to, and Steve Byrne, who's going to pop in and do sets. And there was always, excuse me, always some great acts. It's changed a little bit now because everyone's so busy out on the road.
Right.
There's always great comics, and there are always comics coming from all over. But it's a little bit more of a showcase show now.
And we're a weird hub, too. You're talking about, like, comedy towns. We are not known for comedy. We're known for all the other things, like the world's first Bass Pro. And I remember on one, I heard Nate one day talk about he had stayed at Big Cedar, which is our big Johnny Morris, who owns, he's a $7 billion man that started Bass Pro here. He owns the highway, basically. Yeah. And so, that's what most people
Is that the golf course?
Does Big Cedar have a golf course?
Yeah, the one.
There's also Top of the Rock golf course.
He owns that one too.
Which is like where Larry the Cable Guy will come, Kid Rock.
Okay, I've played that.
Yeah. Okay,
I played it with Nate.
That's like 30 minutes from here.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That was incredible golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an eccentric billionaire. He's put up some stuff out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just closes one of the main roads for seemingly no reason. And
because he can?
Because it reopens and you're like, okay, Johnny.
I think I've told this story
Land his
before.
helicopter.
He did a thing called the World's Fishing Fair. And they had a huge festival, like all these famous fishermen and outdoor guys came. But then they also did, like, over at our stadium or arena, they had, like, Luke Combs and all these guys. And then I got a text on the Wednesday, the first day of the festival. They're like, hey, do you know Larry the Cable Guy's here? And I'm like, he's where? I was like, I know all the comedy venues. He's not here. He's like, no, he's at Bass Pro. And it rained, and so if you go over there, I know you talked about going, where the alligators are, right next to the alligators is a whole bunch of aisles. That was where Larry the Cable Guy was. He was just standing in the middle of it doing comedy with like people just shopping next to him. And it's by far the weirdest comedy show I've ever been to with one of the most famous guys to do it.
Get her done.
Yeah.
You gotta get her done. Huh?
And he's from, where's he from? Oh, he's from Nebraska.
He claims Nebraska, which is where I'm from.
Yeah.
So he's my hometown. Like, he will always have a special place for me because he was like the local celebrity when I was growing up.
Right.
He filmed his tailgate special inside of where the Cornhuskers play.
Yeah.
So I got to go to it, and there was 50,000 people.
Wow.
Watching. And I believe I was a kid, so I remember the show and I remember all that. But my dad told me the opener was Big J Okerson. So
Really?
I didn't even know I had seen Big J. Yeah, and then somebody else, another local here, heard that, and he goes, "Oh yeah, Big J was the touring opener for Larry for a while."
I did not know that.
Yeah, you'll see him on the podcast on his his Sirius show.
Right.
Well, I know the guy who toured with him a bunch, Reno Collier.
Oh yeah,
He lives in Nashville, and when Larry did his Comedy Central roast, however many years ago it was all these celebrities that you tend to see on the roast, and then Reno was on there, who nobody knew.
Right.
And that was kind of the running joke from all the other celebrities was making fun of him, was like, who is this guy? But Reno was his longtime opener, and he lives in Nashville, and he's a great guy as well. I had no idea that Big J used to open for him.
isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's a weird mix.
It doesn't seem like a good fit. But that was a long time ago.
As I say, he probably changed now.
Yeah.
It might have been a little bit cleaner back in the day or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something I was going to ask about is so like this is what makes, I think, like you such a great story. What age you started comedy, what age you went full-time in comedy, the baby, the marriage, you've got all this crazy stuff you've done. What was the job you did before comedy?
So I worked at a local TV station in Nashville. I don't know why I say local. A TV station in Nashville. I started there out of college. I went to college for broadcast journalism. I started there out of college as an associate producer, and then I was a producer and did behind-the-scenes stuff. And then I kind of moved up to management, and I was there for almost 20 years.
Oh my gosh!
When I quit my job, so I took a stand-up comedy class at age 35. That's when I say I basically started comedy. Was 35, which is ancient for comedians.
Right.
And quit my job at 43 to go full-time into stand-up comedy, and now I'm 50. So I've been doing comedy for 15 years.
Wow.
But full-time for 7, I guess.
What was the moment where you were like, all right, that's what I needed to go to full-time?
I was getting more and more busy, and it was really hard to do my day job and do comedy. And for I tested myself. So the last 6 months of my job, I lived just off my comedy income. I didn't touch any of and I could do it. So I thought, okay, well, I think I'm ready now. If I can do that, I can live off just that. And I was single at the time, so I thought, you know what? If I fail, I'm only hurting myself.
Right.
So I'm not making anyone else starve.
That's my whole plan.
So why not?
Levi
why not
can't even
do
take
it?
care of himself, so I don't.
Yeah, I'm not great at that.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to take on others.
I'm not either. So that's why I got a wife to take care of me.
Yeah, I can't trick one of those yet.
But yeah, that was the thing. I was like, I'm single. I'm not getting any younger, and I think I can do this.
Wow, that's cool. And I know Aaron said it was not that long ago that he did the same move.
Yeah, and Aaron's 20 years younger than I am. And I mean, he's 30 years old and already, just killing. Everyone has their own journey, though.
Yeah.
I know I've done this long enough now, though.
Yeah,
Is that a wrap-up music?
I don't know why that just turned on all of a
Kick the
sudden.
music on us here.
Yeah,
That's fun.
It's probably doesn't barely pick up with these.
Probably not much, but yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're probably close anyway. But
Yeah, I was just going to say, and then to wrap up, I've been doing this long enough to know where I've seen comedians blow up in their 20s, but then they can't sustain it for whatever reason, because we all have ups and downs in our career, and then now they're in their 40s and not doing as good as they did in their 20s. Not to knock them, it just happens. And Greg Warren told me, he's done this long enough to know, you'll have good moments and bad moments, and you'll think your career's about to change or you're about to tank. Neither one's truly the truth. I mean,
Just keep going.
It's never as big as you think it is. It's never as bad as you think it is. That's good advice.
I like that.
from a Missouri native, Greg Warren.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he went to the same schools as a lot of the people I love.
Disagreed.
Yeah, Levi's like, I'm doing it now. I make negative $10 a month. I can live off that.
Do it.
It's fine. I'm literally going tomorrow morning to get a car so we
Heck
can
yeah.
travel everywhere and not worry about it being on the side of the road.
We're staying at Brian's one-bedroom apartment in Nashville.
One bedroom, one bathroom.
I didn't know how
I'll
you
sleep
do
on
a
the
one-bedroom,
balcony.
one-bathroom, bro. I couldn't do a one-bathroom if I lived by myself. I'd be like, I messed up that one. I need the other one.
This is my teeth brushing bathroom.
Yeah,
This is my
yeah.
business bathroom.
Yeah, you have only one bathroom at your house, and I'm like, I don't know how y'all do it.
Nah,
That's a bold move. That was the number one thing my mom told me
learn
when
how
I
to
moved
hold it.
out. Huh?
Learn how to hold it.
Or you learn how to use the backyard and be like, it was the dog.
If it's night,
Well, if
yeah.
you live by yourself, why are you holding it, though? Like, you wait on
He
someone
doesn't
else?
live by
I
himself.
don't know myself.
You don't live by yourself either. That was kind of what.
No, but when we got married, she moved into my condo for a while. But that's why I had a one-bedroom, one-bathroom, because I lived by myself for that time.
Yeah. So what made her want to move in there? What was she living in?
She was living in a house, but her parents, elderly parents, moved in with us. Her mom's passed away. Her dad still lives with us, and she was having her house renovated at the time for them. So while that was going on, she lived with me in my condo.
Okay.
And as soon as that was done, we got out of there and moved into her
Okay.
larger
I was about to
house.
say, I was like, is you, your wife, the baby, and your father-in-law? That's a lot for one bathroom.
No, now we live in a house with a few more bedrooms and a lot of squirrels.
Oh, yeah.
Squirrels.
I'll
You know
say,
about
all
squirrels.
those people in a one-bedroom is a good way you could just share diapers.
Yeah, that's true.
The squirrels, the squirrels, you got that. Have you gotten rid of them yet?
No, you can't get rid of squirrels, not completely.
Well, okay. Got rid of your
I was just saying,
problem
We
with
could try.
squirrels.
I mean,
If we could try.
If they gave us the proper funding, we might be able to take a shot at it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've had squirrels destroy my car wiring numerous times, and so right now I have a Irish Spring bar soap in my driveway because supposedly that scares them off, and a couple of fake snakes, a fake owl. I've got the whole shebang.
I like how you're like you just keep fixing it, and you're like the squirrel's like I like Brian. He keeps fixing this so that we can have it again.
I know.
Whenever we come to Nashville next time, just let us know. We'll go beat up some squirrels for you.
All right.
We went gator hunting in Florida. We'll go squirrel hunting in Nashville.
Yeah, I don't care.
Do it.
Gotta entertain myself after shows, you know.
So real quick, we'll close out. What's your advice to anybody that's trying to do the comedy thing?
I mean, it's the same thing everybody says, but it's so true. Get on stage as often as possible. Nothing beats practice. Write as much as possible. Those two are the givens. And then I would say try to put together a clean set if you can, just because it'll give you more opportunities to do different types of shows. Most comedy clubs want a clean host, and if you ever do late night TV, they'll want you to be clean. So it's beneficial.
Well, thanks for Brian. We really appreciate it.
Thanks
It's
for
been a
being here.
blast having you out for the show, for the podcast. You're very kind to let us to bend your ear this long. So.
No,
we
it's fun.
appreciate it.
It was fun.
I never knew until now. Somewhere is a place along